Chapter 16. A horrific thing. By the time we came up from the basement after watching alien babies land from outer space, it was getting dark. The house was very quiet, except for the wind weeping and wailing through the walls and the faint machine gun sound of my mom's sewing machine coming from upstairs. Besides being an ace pitching machine, my gung also likes to sew. That wasn't a very scary movie at all, stammered Scooter. No, 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 it wasn't, said Eli. I've seen scarier, said Nia, shuddering. I said nothing. Let's go throw some balls, said Pinky. All right, okay, said Hobson. Woohoo, said Pinky, picking up my ball and glove, which Annabelle had left by the door. We even have an autographed baseball by Alvin Ho. The gang slapped high fives. I slapped nothing. I think there's something wrong with Alvin, said Sam. I could hardly move. I could hardly blink. I could hardly breathe. I could hardly do anything but watch alien babies invade Earth and crawl around like zombies, over and over again in my mind. But Pinky and the gang had already gone out, so had my glove and ball. So I followed, like a zombie myself. Outside, it was a dark and shadowy night. The tree reached its crooked fingers toward me. The garden hose slithered and hissed. Usually, no one pitches at our house when it gets dark. You can't see what you're doing, and if you miss, you could have a terrible accident. I'd like to learn the forkball, Pinky said to me. Show me. He threw me the ball and backed up. I froze. For the forkball is a killer. It's slow and nasty. Even at daylight, you can hardly tell where it's going. If Pinky didn't catch it, the ball could smack him right between the eyes. Come on, said Pinky. You waiting for retirement or something? I shivered. I squinted. It was hard to tell the gang apart from the other creepy shadows in the yard. I haven't got all night, screeched Pinky. So I wound my pitch, leaned back on one leg, and then fired it with all my might. There was no thud in the glove. A thick, soupy silence poured into our ears. Then, crack! The sound of a window splintering into a million diamonds. Oops. I think I hear my mom calling, said Pinky. He tossed my glove and it started across the yard when... Huh? A horrific thing emerged from the shadows and came charging towards us. Half of it was green. The other half was black. Scales ran along one side and warts ran down the other. I was ready to pee in my pants, but I didn't. At moments like this, it is important to have already used the bathroom, which I had. Back! Pinky screamed, a belly-button-piercing scream. Back! The wind howled and hammered at the house. The fence, groaned and creaked. I wanted to scream my head off, but I couldn't. Nothing came out. My heart stopped, my breath stopped, my eyes shut. When I opened them again, I saw that Pinky had peed in his pants. I didn't know what to say. Neither did the rest of the gang. What do you say when someone's just embarrassed himself to death? The horrific thing moved closer. La 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 la, it sang. Pinky turned and ran. Back! He screamed. Hi, Alvin, said the horrific thing. It was Annabelle's voice, but it was not Annabelle. La 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 la, it sang again. Had the horrific thing swallowed Annabelle? Do you like my Halloween costume, Alvin? Said Annabelle's voice. Gung just finished it. The horrific thing trolled menacingly one way and then menacingly the other way. It was uglier than any of the alien babies and scarier than the whole movie from beginning to end. What are you? I asked. Half witch and half dragon, said Annabelle's voice. I couldn't decide, so Gung said I could be both. Oh, I said. Then, surprise, surprise, I remembered to say something nice to Annabelle. You look terrific, I said, even though she was ugly enough to make you run. You better come in now, called my Gung from the house. He was a dark shape against the bright light in the doorway. Annabelle and I ran toward the light. Lucky your mother wasn't home, my Gung said as I stepped past him. You can tell her what happened in the morning. I nodded. Then I looked over my shoulder. The rest of the gang had disappeared. Our yard was quiet. The house next door was completely dark and quiet, too. Luckily, the neighbors weren't home either.